Thank you very much for inviting us to present. This project is for a university center in Cleveland, Ohio, which is in the Midwest of the United States. And it's very much about the site, which I'll talk a lot about, generated a lot of the ideas. The program is university meeting spaces, student gathering spaces, student organizational gathering spaces. The history of the university is, it's called Case Western, but it was originally two different universities, Case Institute of Technology and Western Reserve University. And they combined in the 1960s into Case Western University. But as you can see on the site, it kind of exists as almost like two separate campuses. So the project was not only to provide the functions that I mentioned, but also to become a tie, a better tie between the two universities, and a third university acquisition in smaller campus to the west, which you see as a smaller blue area to the west. So the site is at the kind of nexus of the three campuses, and the opportunity was to finally tie the two and now three university campuses together. The site is the big green area, which looks like a very large site area to deal with. It's an 80,000 or 8,000 square meter building. But when we started to examine the site in a little more detail, we discovered under that large green area, which is a playfield, is a garage. And unfortunately, the university built the garage so that it couldn't be constructed on. We looked into actually drilling piers through the garage, various ways of building over the garage, and it was proved to be unviable to even touch the garage. They couldn't even get their insurance company if they built over the garage. So the garage had to be left totally intact, so we decided to actually, rather than did a number of models, study models, some actually spanning over the garage, but which proved to be too expensive and actually not the right shape to do what we wanted to do in terms of using the building as a connective element within the campus plan. So ultimately we decided to just totally avoid the garage and come up with a shape that on the edges of the garage, which actually to me makes, like a lot of, when you discover constraints on a problem, it makes the problem actually a lot more interesting. So we used the building as a connective element. We also used the building as an element which begins to define three new spaces on campus, or either reinforce existing spaces that are there, or create new campus quadrangle type spaces with the building. So the building shape acts as a kind of not only as a connector building, but also a spatial defining building, and kind of a kind of nexus within the campus plan. So the whole shape of the building really evolves out of that kind of understanding of the site, the idea of connectivity, connecting the site together. So the building itself, then you see it's a two-story building. Again, we wanted to stretch the program as far as possible into the context. So it's kind of a three wings stretching out, both to connect to the existing campus and also to define that space. And for instance, this is the view from the edge of the field. This is a smaller courtyard space formed between two existing buildings and the new building. And it forms a kind of sculpture courtyard with a collection of Philip Johnson sculptures. Philip Johnson was actually born in Cleveland, so he has a connection there. And then another edge, which is another connecting path, which has a outdoor restaurant onto it. So it's really about forming new edges to the campus. This is against an existing road on the western part of the site. But that edge then is still permeable, allowing you to enter from the street onto that existing field area, and off of that is a student activity area. So, I mean, basically this is the diagram of the building. 3 wings, two connecting to the existing campus, one to the east, or to the west actually, to connect to the new campus that's developing, and then also the Cleveland Institute of, or Cleveland Museum of Art, as well as the concert hall, which are more campus or citywide kind of institutions. So that's what determined the basic shape of the building, is kind of connector building with arms that become kind of gateway elements, especially the 2 entry elements that face and connect to the existing building. Right now, this is the existing condition was a well-used campus circulation path, but it was obviously a void in the campus, so we wanted to actually build over that, and structure that existing campus circulation element. So the other end, facing the Western Reserve campus, connecting in the other direction, and then a kind of berm element that kind of points to the art museum and the future campus as it develops. So you have the 3 connective elements forming a kind of U-shaped element. Then the inside is kind of a mixing bowl of circulation. It's a very permeable 24-hour kind of facility, allowing students to circulate through to the various campus points with certain elements enlivening it, the path on the inside, a couple of theaters, an exterior theater, an interior theater, and a kind of a video wall at the other gateway entrance. And you can see that here. We wanted the west to be as transparent as possible, so it really is kind of a built circulation piece with the major circulation opening up onto that defined field space. And then interior, for instance, the student activity space, which you see here, which opens up also onto the field, and an outdoor amphitheater cut into the berm of the earth that faces out into the art museum, which you see here. This is the kind of video lounge at the one end, which activates the one entry area, which you see here at night. So it becomes kind of a beacon at night, facing into the original Case campus. So the whole building is, again, this kind of built version of the existing circulation paths on the site, and it becomes a kind of mixing bowl of circulation for the students and the faculty. It contains both lounge areas, food court type areas, and restaurants at the ground floor. And then this two-story space itself, which looks back to the art museum on the left, with the kind of amphitheater space that connects the 2 levels. The upper level, as you'll see, is a breakout space for a multi-purpose hall for the university. And you see that in plan. This is the 2nd floor with the large multi-purpose hall, which opens up into a breakout area that overlooks the main student activity space, as you see here. Again, looking down the major hall entrance with breakout space overlooking the student activity space. And a lot of technical challenges. The area where we wanted most of the the transparency is facing the field and facing the art museum. Unfortunately, it was a west-facing facade, so we developed a double wall, a ventilated double wall for the west to keep as much transparency as possible, but provide for good energy results on the building. We also had to ventilate the garage, so at the bottom, the existing garage, again, we couldn't touch the garage, so we had to cantilever over it and ventilate the garage. So it became kind of an interesting technology. You can see on this section on the bottom right, the existing garage and the interface between the garage and it'll be it's a big story of the project, but of course it'll be a hidden story of the project because no one will realize it's there. And the west-facing wall, the detail of that double wall situation, and just a view of across the field with showing the transparency into the circulation space of on the main hall and the various connecting elements into the campus plan. Thank you.